Hello and welcome to your new moon reading. So just 2 weeks after our healing journey check-in with the pink moon, which invited us to take a look at the deepest layers of our being, including all of the neglected and uncomfortable places, and to review all of these emotional states through the pink lenses of tenderness, compassion, and unconditional love for yourself, your past, and everyone who had a major influence on your coming to being at this moment in time. We arrive on Thursday, April 20th at 12:12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the second new moon in Aquarius, the first sign in the zodiac cycle, which is a major celestial push into a monumental new beginning. And this isn't just any new moon. This is a new lunar cycle that is collaborating with the sun, giving us the most powerful solar eclipse of the decade that will initiate huge, profound changes within our being and across the entire world. We can expect to see some really big changes over the next 3 months, sweeping through the world, but also unfolding through the beginning of 2024. This year is a year of dismantling and destructing, taking apart the old ways of living, the world as we used to know it. And 2024 is more building and creating the new earth. Although it is happening at the same time, first we must remove the old so that the new can come in. And the last time that we experienced a solar eclipse of this magnitude was in January of 2020, which also initiated some major changes that swept across the entire planet. And we all know what happened in 2020. And this new moon in Aries and solar eclipse is bringing us even more structural paradigm shifts, dissolving the previous versions of our being into the past and the old versions of the earth, dissolving them into the past. And this is activating us into the new versions of ourselves, activating all of the star seeds, all of the light workers, all of the healers, and all of the wisdom keepers into action. This new moon and solar eclipse is activating our root chakras on a very deep cosmic soul level, reminding us of who we are beyond space and time, and why we were born at this moment in time and initiating us into action. This new moon and solar eclipse occurs at 29 degrees of Aries, the last degree of Aries, which gives us a greater perspective of where we've come from, how far we've grown, how far we've come, how much we've overcome and achieved. And it's giving us this fiery burst of energy, activating our divine powers and initiating us into our next level of awakening. This new moon and solar eclipse is square with Pluto in Aquarius. And Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth. And any cosmic dynamic that involves Pluto brings huge seismic shifts that shape the entire world for future generations to come. Let's think about this. Pluto is one of the most outermost celestial bodies, and so its expansive orbit reaches far into the future and changes the entire world with no going back. This cosmic dynamic may sound scary, and change can be scary, but this is shifting our consciousness into higher levels of consciousness, higher perspectives than we've ever reached before in this lifetime. This is supercharging our frequency at lightning speed. And this can show up in our life as spontaneous awakenings, revelations in our awareness, instant downloads. And we can see this around the world as shocking societal, political, financial, and structural changes to the world as we know it. The entire universe is upgrading our DNA as a species, raising the frequency of our DNA. It's allowing us to jump timelines to the new Earth and shifting the power of control from a centralized source of control, governments, and this small source of control back into our own individual divine strength and sovereignty, our individual personal power, inner authority, and sovereignty. Now, of course, these massive changes don't happen overnight. Although I know there are some of us who wish the day after the new moon we would wake up and the whole world would be different. That we would instantly be activated into our power, and we would instantly be living in a world without war, without poverty, and complete freedom and sovereignty of our own power and free will, and creating this new world. However, this is an unfolding, and it will unfold throughout April, May, and June, where we can expect some really big changes to happen. But it's also continuing throughout the rest of 2023 into January of 2024, when Pluto officially shifts into Aquarius. Now, Pluto is in Aquarius, squaring with this new moon and solar eclipse, but will go retrograde back into Capricorn until January of 2024. So these next few months will be a preview of what's to come for the future ahead. And in order for the new Earth to arise, in order for our new self to arise, the old has to fall away. And this process of letting go of the old self, the old stories that we tell ourselves, the old patterns, the old behaviors, the old emotions that we've been holding on to our entire life, the old world that we have grown accustomed to, needs to fall away in order for the new story to arrive and to be written. And if this sounds a bit daunting, overwhelming, or scary, then spend some quiet, peaceful time in nature. Some time by yourself. increase your meditation practice and tend to yourself and your healing journey as your very first priority. Prioritizing you and your health and your well-being first and foremost and above everything else. Because we need to be whole and healthy in order to help anyone else and in order to help bring in this new earth. We cannot do it holding on to the past, holding on to regret, holding on to grudges, holding on to regret, holding on to being a victim of your past. And so, spending some time in nature and allowing yourself to immerse yourself into the healing vibrations of nature, connecting with the plants and animals, the spirits of the land, increasing your meditation practice, connecting with your ancestors, your spirit guides, your guardian angels, and really focusing on yourself and your well-being and your healing journey will soften this transition from the world as we knew it so that we can arrive in this new earth and allow this new self to birth within each and every single human being. Each person with our own divine timing. It's kind of like planting seeds. I'm doing a lot of planting now because it's spring, and we plant seeds and some sprout sooner than others, and there's a divine timing to each seed when each one germinates and sprouts. And us humans are like that. It happens in our own natural divine timing. And so we need to be compassionate with those who haven't yet awakened to these changes, or those who are going through these changes, because we are all going through this together as one collective human family. And if we look at the astrological chart for this new moon and solar eclipse, Mars is the ruler of Aries, where this new moon and solar eclipse is happening. And Mars is the ruler of this new moon and solar eclipse. And Mars is in Cancer, the very first water sign in the zodiac. And it is also square with Chiron, the wounded healer, which is also in Aries with the moon and the sun, which is the first sign of the zodiac. And so this astrological aspect directs our attention to and triggers major shifts to all the early traumas that we have endured coming into being as we are in this present moment, including all of our ancestral traumas, childhood traumas, traumas from our family of origin, and what we would consider to be home. Not our current home, but the home that we came from. And this is our divine, spiritual, inner work that we have been tasked to heal over the next 6 to 8 months from the universe. And this is ending all of the old karmic ties so that we can fully and freely step into our divine purpose. We can expect our entire sense of self to be opened up for incredible changes. as we revisit our origin, we revisit our traumatic past, we revisit our inner child and our childhood, showing our inner child some tender, loving care and support that many of our inner child so desperately needs. Revisiting our family of origin, our arriving into this world, into this life, our sense of home, and shifting these larger aspects of ourselves into a higher frequency of consciousness, where we can begin to hold our past filled with love and gratitude, thus reclaiming our divine power and sovereignty. No longer victim of circumstance. Because if we are still holding on to regret, anger, guilt, or we remain defensive about our past, we are still experiencing the lower frequency expressions of our past. And this is keeping us karmically tied to the past. But once we're able to be at peace and to let go of all of the past, and we are at peace with it, we're no longer feeling pain and suffering. And it's deeper than no longer feeling the pain and suffering because we escape or we self-medicate with whatever it may be. It could be shopping, it could be food, it could be watching our favorite shows or reading romance novels, whatever it may be. But once we can take a look into our traumatic past and be at peace with it, then we find our strength. When we can be grateful and hold our traumatic past in a place of unconditional love for our traumatic past, we then free ourselves from the karmic ties. And we are free to step into our divine strength and power. And this is our universal assignment, initiated by the new moon and solar eclipse in Aries. And of course, we are not doing this alone. We have all of our ancestors, spirit guides, and guardian angels standing with us, with all of their love and support, guiding us to our greatness. This is incredibly powerful and inspirational, transformational work. And we have enormous support all around us. Jupiter, the expansive planet of good luck and good fortune, is also conjunct with this new moon and solar eclipse, which is our universal support and spiritual protection that is expanding our capacity to move through these enormous soul-shaping transformations. And Mercury also goes retrograde right after this new moon, which slows us down to take a deeper look into ourselves, into our past, in order to make creative changes within our being and within our life. And these changes are not overnight. They will unfold within our being. They will fold within our mental body, unfold within our emotional body, unfold even within our physical body. And they will unfold within our behaviors, within our thoughts, within our patterns, and within our life. And within 6 to 8 months in 2024, we will look back and we'll be completely different because a new version of ourselves was born. Because we consciously took a look at how we came into this world, and we decided to make some changes and to take a look at our past with a higher level of consciousness, and to harness this creative energy from this new moon and solar eclipse to activate our new life and our new being, and to see what aspects in your life that our higher consciousness, our true divine self is calling us to make changes in. See what houses Aries, Scorpio, Taurus, and Libra fall in your birth chart. And in particular, see where 29 degrees of Aries is in your chart. And this will give you a strong map of where the universe is asking you to raise your frequency and make more conscious enhancements and to heal yourself through the rest of 2023. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this new moon in Aries and solar eclipse reading. This is massive. It's exceptionally powerful. And I hope you guys have a beautiful new moon and a beautiful experience of transformation, which is what we are born to do. It's what we do best as humans. We are transformational beings. And so for the oracle reading for this new moon is work through your fears. New moon in Scorpio. There's definitely some major Scorpio energies for this new moon. And in fact, it's one of the things to check out on your birth chart. Where is Scorpio on your birth chart? Which house? And so the universe is saying, work through your fears, and to remember that we have tons of love and support all around us. If you need any support, I am here for you. Please feel free to reach out. And until next time, lots of peace, love, and happiness. Bye, guys.